Our next interview was with Scott Van Zyl. Some of you may know him from Kiss, but that guy's got a lot of other stuff going on. He has worked some stuff on TV, and he's done some commercials, and he's done some toy jingles and all kinds of stuff. That guy's got about 1,000 things going on if you search his list. Anyway, we got to sit down and talk about our favorite band, Kiss. Like I said a few minutes ago, he's got some really unique things with Kiss that some people don't know about, maybe some secrets he's going to reveal on our show. So take a listen and enjoy. It's not the first time we've done that. Welcome back to the Age of Rock podcast, coming at you from Nashville, Tennessee. We've got Scott Van Zyl, guitarist extraordinaire. And yeah, there you go. And
can you hear me? Well, nobody's got headphones on. So
we don't. So you can say whatever you want. We're going to talk to him today about some new stuff he's got going on.
Yeah.
And then we've got some questions for him because he's been involved in some stuff that we really are into with Kiss. So
yeah.
So tell us about what's going on with you today.
Well, you know, I'm here hanging out with some of my bandmates from my band Desolation Angels. We do kind of a salute to band company. And
you guys played last night, right?
Yeah, we played
we couldn't make it last night. So
Sandy Gennaro, drummer extraordinaire, Greg Mangus, and Joe bass. And Joe and I played in Brian Howe's band last year, and we hooked back up and put this thing together. So we're doing that, and I'm doing my blues rock trio, kind of Stevie Ray Vaughan, Van Halen thing, getting that going.
Cool.
If you can think of those two of my favorite guitar players.
Yeah, great.
Stevie Van Vaughan.
Yeah, yeah. Something. And I have my guitar school, Scott Van Zyl Guitar School, which is online. So you know, just teaching over the internet like everybody, you know.
Yeah.
And that, you know, that's just working on that stuff right now, and that's going pretty good. I'm not really doing so much TV and advertising as I did. I'm really focusing on my guitar playing. That's my first love, and that's what I dig doing and rocking out. But you guys want to ask me about Gene and Kiss?
We do want to ask you about Gene and Kiss, and we'll ask you about Judas Priest, but you can already hear it. So
I don't know if that's good. We're gonna be able to hear okay, you think?
No.
No.
Oh wait, give it a second. Can you?
That'll be over.
Yeah.
In a second.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Alan.
So what we've got here is heavy metal parking lot.
Yeah, there we
panel,
go. We'll be good now.
But I'm going to edit that part out.
Yeah, we'll just
be
cut
all right.
them.
So we don't get a
them out.
copyright ding.
All right, so we're good.
We're good.
Yeah, that'll work.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So you got some Kiss questions.
Oh yeah.
Fire away.
So Dennis and I are big fans of Carnival of Souls.
Yeah.
So
love that record.
I believe you co-wrote two
did.
songs, right?
I think I co-wrote
Three songs.
on
Okay.
that.
Seduction of the Innocent, Hate.
Hate and
Spit.
no,
On
that's
Revenge.
on.
That's on Revenge.
That's on Revenge.
You'd have to put it in front of me with my name next to it.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's been a day, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Seduction of the Innocent and Hate. Yeah, those are the two I found. So.
And Hate is my favorite one on that record. I had,
Oh, that is a classic Gene
yeah.
song. You were
Actually, that's one thing we've always said. You know, as far as Unholy and Hate is probably the quintessential Gene demon song.
And I primarily wrote with Gene. I have co-writes with Paul and with Bruce as well, but it was after the fact.
noticed that your name comes after the Gene, on his songs.
Yeah,
I mean, more of a Gene writer.
And so when I wrote, it was always with Gene. So if somebody else's name is on a Kiss song, they added something and became part of the song as well. Like I think on Spit, Bruce Kulick may be a writer as well on that.
Right.
Maybe the internet will tell us what it is.
Yeah, the internet is looking. We're looking that up on the internet, so just to make sure.
And I also, one of the things a lot of guys don't know is on the Kiss album, when the band got back together and recorded, there's some creepy clown music.
Oh yeah.
I wrote that on my 4-track.
Oh, in Psycho Circus.
Yeah, and I didn't get credited. Yeah, because of an error. But the piano.
Are you putting the error in air quotes?
No, and the piano though you hear on that is Nicholas's toy piano. Gene handed it to me when I was on the way. And I was in the car. He goes, It was out in the yard. Because here, put this on there.
Wow.
And so you hear that clink.
Yeah.
It's all out of tune. So I wrote that on the 4-track, and then I took it when they were recording the record, and they ran 4 quarter-inch into this SSL huge constant.
Wow.
That is crazy.
I wrote all those riffs on a 4-track, and then Gene would edit them. And yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, like I said, looking back, I mean, I know that we got a ton of Bill's got the Kiss questions, but, you know, looking back, I was looking at through all the things that you've done. I was just amazed by you said thousands of things you've done for television.
Over 1,000.
And for Mattel, you said.
Hundreds of Mattel
cartoons,
ads,
Nickelodeon, all these other things, a lot of outro. People don't realize that everything that's done on TV, you know, it has to be written, it has to be recorded. You know, it doesn't just come out of there like that.
And it's never the first choice.
Right.
Because there's lots of cooks in the kitchen. But yeah, I'm very proud of that work. I did it for years, and I'll do stuff every now and then. I'm just primarily focusing on my first love now, which is the guitar and that rock and blues kind of style.
Cool.
You know.
That's cool.
So I did find the other one. It was In My Head.
In My Head.
Yeah.
Another great Gene.
Yeah, which is another great Gene song.
And a lot of times Gene would come up with a title. He'd go, I want to write something called, you know, whatever. Like I remember Hate, and I go, okay, and I detuned it, and I
try to make it dirty.
Yeah, and I brought him the riff first. He goes, that's good, keep it up. So, and I would give him sections, and then he had this, it was amazing how good he was at this. He had this little cassette player that, remember how you could record one cassette to another, like
sure.
Yeah. So he would play it, and he'd record on the other one. He would, if he only wanted 4 bars instead of 8 bars, he'd pause it for 4 and then lift his finger real fast, and he'd make these edits. Wow. And that's how and it was amazing to me. Like he'd jump and stuff. It was like an event, and we'd be laughing about it and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. So how
Pro Tools, it was Gene Tools.
Yeah, no, there you go. He had some
That's
skills.
pretty good.
Yeah, he had some skills with that, definitely. It was pretty cool. I wish I had it on video.
Oh, yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah. So how long does the process take then writing one of those songs with him? Is it?
Well, you know, they're pretty quick, but it's like the way it would go down is I would write a riff. We would talk about it. We get together and talk about the next few we're going to work on or something. But he always had a concept. I mean, I want to write something like this or this. Let's go in this direction, or just even a word. He'd give me a word like hate or spit. Well, Spit started out with, I want to write a song called Spit. And then I would go write riffs, drums, bass, 2 guitars, solid riffs, mix them to a cassette, bring them in, different, I got this one, I go, I like this one, I like this part of this one, elaborate that. So it was,
wow.
He didn't live very far from me, so I was really...
Basically just send you back and say, okay, I like this,
yeah.
Put that together. And
then I'd go do some more, and,
awesome.
He's constantly has ideas. He's one of the smartest people and the most hardworking people I've ever met. I mean,
yeah, he's a smart guy.
Yeah. He does a lot of good things too, but he doesn't tell people.
No. Yeah. He doesn't.
Very patriotic. He does a lot for military. I always love that he did that. And he keeps it really quiet too, which I think is noble.
Yeah, it's a good thing, but I think that unfortunately some people don't get to hear that part of it, and they always judge him for other things that they don't really know about all that stuff. But,
yeah, no, he's a good, and he helped me. One thing he did for me one time is I had a record deal on the table, and I got the contract, and it was really wordy and a lot of pages, and I didn't know how to read it, and I didn't have money to hire a lawyer for it, and I said, I got this contract. He said, bring it over, bring 2 copies, and come over. And he read one, and I had a highlighter and a Sharpie. He said, and he went through it, the whole thing. Yes, don't do this. You can give him half of this, like point for point.
Wow.
All these notes. And I went into the lawyer at the record label and sat down with a leather jacket.
Talking to Gene Simmons.
Well, he didn't know at first, and I go, I'll give you 100% of this. I don't care, but you can't touch this. And he goes, where'd you learn how to negotiate record deals? And I said, Gene did it for me,
The guy went, oh shit.
I've heard stories about Gene back, when they were on the road. Back when they were in their heyday, you would think he would be like the Mr. Party, whatever, but which we know he isn't. But the thing is, he would go through payrolls and everything else, and he would go like Didn't this guy just quit, or we didn't get rid of him like a month ago? Why are we writing a check for this guy? I mean, he knew every dime, and legal wise, he knew a lot of this stuff.
Well, he doesn't drink. He never has. He never done any drugs. You know. And,
right.
And I didn't. You know, I had already stopped drinking and partying by the time I was hanging out with him, and he really liked that. And,
that's cool.
You know,
cool. So the unfortunate part about this album is it's awesome. It's not the unfortunate part.
No,
the unfortunate part about it is they made a decision to make a shit ton of money on a reunion tour and shelved an album that was really, really, really good.
It sold a couple 100,000 units.
Yeah.
Low for them because Revenge went, you know, gold and even platinum in some areas right away, but it didn't get a real chance. It's really good too.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I actually have 4 versions or copies of it, so I have.
Really?
Yeah. So,
Wow.
Bill might be a little obsessed.
Yeah.
And I actually left them at home because I was afraid they were going to melt in the car, so I didn't bring them. But it's just for me, it was a time that I had really kind of gotten. Revenge was really the beginning, a rebirth, really for me, but because I had really gotten tired of the try to be everybody else Kiss kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you had Revenge, where it was we're going to go back to black and leather and just balls out and make a great record.
I think Revenge is a really great
record. Actually, and you know, then followed up with Carnival of Souls. It's like that is going to be awesome, and then it just
well, they went to the masses.
I mean,
I'll tell you a cool thing that happened in Revenge. You know, Bob Ezrin, brilliant producer, was listening. We listened to every track without vocals. Gene was there and Paul was there. I was there. Bob, and maybe one other person. The entire record, really loud in the studio. And just for sonic purposes, bass, drums, guitars, and you heard it, and it just slammed.
Oh.
At the end of it, Paul goes, "We're going to be famous." That was right at the end. Those two were always cutting up. It was like Carl Reiner and Mel Brooks, you know, a couple old Jewish comedians, you know. They're just hilarious all the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then you know, it just kind of got tanked, but it's kind of weird because when you hear interviews with Paul, he doesn't want to talk about it. It just kind of, you know,
Carnival, they just don't.
Well, the Carnival, they just kind of, it just falls off the planet, and it's really unfortunate because there's some really great work on there.
I was hanging around there, and it was really a fun time for them. They were having fun. Everybody's in a good mood. Everybody's telling jokes. They went a different direction.
Yeah, and Paul's voice at the time was phenomenal.
He was on.
I mean, he was right on.
I am part, and this isn't just because I write with him and I know him, but I've always liked Gene's voice. And when I sing, I try to mimic Gene.
Gene's got, and he has no issues.
Wavered that much. I mean,
he doesn't.
Not at all.
When I was hanging out with him, I could get on a phone with somebody and beat Gene. Like I could talk just like that. I can't do it as close.
Have you seen any of his solo stuff since he's been doing the little solo tour? He's doing a solo tour now.
I know, and I actually, Greg, my singer in Desolation Angels, knows and plays with those guys in his AC/DC band, and that travel and do that. I guess he speaks and then he plays, and I should hit him up. Probably all set though, you know. I tried to get in Kiss once.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Briefly, I said, "Put me in Kiss," and he said, "No." I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because you won't do what you're told."
Oh, that's
And I said, "You're right, I won't."
Yeah.
He goes, "You'll start showing off and make it into being about you," and I said, "Yeah, I'll do all that."
Yeah, we'd have to change your name to Vinny.
It's like I've been down that road before.
Yeah, that's. But it works, right? It's a staple that works. It's kind of crazy.
Gene would, when he had his label, he would come by and go, "Let's go hear some bands." And he'd drive by my apartment where I live. He used to meet me out front. He'd pick me up. We'd go to clubs, and people would hand him CDs, and he would turn around and hand them to me. And he'd say, "Here, listen to this. Let me know if it's any good." since I'm an A&R, but on no salary, right?
Right.
But word got around, and I was getting schmoozed by everybody.
That's the CD guy. That's the CD guy.
Yeah, come to steak dinner. We're having a barbecue. Like me and my wife are going home. You know, I'm like, hey, these people got to.
Yeah, I'll make sure Gene gets this.
Yeah. We'll take care of it. Don't worry about it.
Now, going back to working on Carnival Souls and stuff like that, did you find working with Gene and Paul intimidating, or did they kind of make you feel comfortable?
No, they're really comfortable. They're regular guys. They're regular guys. As a matter of fact, you know, when I was hanging out at Gene's house all the time, you know, there wasn't like a bunch of playmates around. Like there was
only the one?
Just the one. It was good enough, by the way, especially then. Shannon, the kids, Sophie was in diapers. Nicholas was, you know, 3 or something like that. I mean, I can't pinpoint exactly. I was there a couple years over time. He loves dogs. He had a little. I mean, he was a regular guy, and he talked about regular things. He likes smart comedy, and you know that's the kind of stuff that we. So it wasn't. You know, at first I was like, wow, Gene Simmons, but I wasn't really into Kiss. You know, I was into different Johnny Winter and you know, Jeff Beck group and stuff like that. So, yeah.
All right, so me being a guitar player, I got a gear question for you because you're schooling and everything. What is your guitar and amp of choice? What do you?
All right. Well, I primarily I like a guy named Lee Garver in California makes my guitars. GMW Guitar Works, but it's a combination. I like Fenders, my main guitar. Fender, but they hand shave the necks thin.
Right.
I use Gibson frets.
Right.
I hand shave the body back so I can get farther up on the neck.
Right.
It's Gibson bridge, so the spacing is not Fender. Seymour Duncan pickups, and sometimes there's single Strat, but a double in the back is what I use with my band. So I can go to the front and have a Hendrixy Stevie Ray Vaughan sound.
And then go back to the
go to the back and have a crunchy. I play through a little Marshall combo live when we're playing around town. Works great. But in the studio, I use a Kemper. Do you know what a Kemper is?
Yes.
Profiling amp.
Right.
So that's basically, you know, every amp on the planet.
Exactly.
And I find it to be really, really authentically close. You know, I get good tone with that. But it's either a Strat or a Les Paul. Sometimes a Tele, but that's it. No weird shapes, flying Bs, any of that kind of stuff. I think the two greatest guitar sounds, body size, are a Strat and a Les Paul.
Right.
I think a Les Paul through a Marshall 800 cranked up, you can't beat it. It's just
exactly.
You know.
And then if you're going to go the blues route, you're going to go Strat.
You go Strat through a Marshall.
Yeah, or
a Fender. It lightens it up, but actually a Strat and a Marshall is a great combo.
Yeah, well, it is very much so.
Who are you listening to today?
Well, I see guys on the internet that I like, but I'll tell you, Mateus, and I can't remember his last name. He's on Instagram. I'll see if I can find it and tell you later. Doug Rappaport plays for Edgar Winter. Get his record. If you like guitar, get his record. He's got one. It's called Extreme or Mind Boggle or some generic name. But wow, what an incredible player. I love Joe Bonamassa. I think Joe Bonamassa.
Yeah, I really started to like him a lot more. I mean,
I think he sings great.
Yeah.
I think he does blues, but he spins it.
Yeah.
So it's rock. I mean, I'd love to have his career actually.
Yeah, and he's putting most of his stuff out online. I mean,
this is the new normal. You know, you don't need a record. See, I put out a jam with this friend of mine. We call it a Massive Blind Jam. All you guitar players out there, go to Facebook, get it the Massive Blind Jam Project. We put a generic blues rhythm out, and everybody gets to do their tapes.
Oh, wow.
And then
Oh, that's really cool.
We upload them, and some of them are really bad, and some are like really good. But it's really growing fast. It's a guitar community, so I love that about that. But it's like, you know, sometimes if I want to put something on Facebook, nobody can keep you from hearing it. If you like it, you will share it. If you don't like it, it ends there.
Yeah.
But so some of my stuff gets, you know, 5,000 views. Some of it gets 40,000 views. You know. But the deal is, I don't have some executive taking my CD and go, he's too much like so and so. Let's not hear it.
Yeah.
Right.
So as bad as it is that you can't get record deals and make all the money like that.
But you
anymore.
get the freedom to do whatever the hell
Look
you
at
want.
you guys have your own radio station.
Right.
Now, how much was a radio station 25 years ago?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's $20 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, $20 a month. Yeah, that's what it is. It costs us $20 a month.
Page, and we get to be on iTunes,
You know,
and
yeah.
you know, and whatever, you know.
Yeah, and it's like I have, you know, video camera.
And we make zero.
Yeah, but I mean,
But we have fun. That's the main thing.
But we get interview. But we get cool interviews. I mean, we get to interview you. That's awesome, man.
That's the idea, man.
That's cool. It's all about having a good time.
Yeah.
It's all about having a good time.
Tell everybody your web address.
Oh, it's scottvanzinguitarschool.com.
Do you want to spell that?
No.
No.
And if they put my name in, it'll show up in Google as well.
That's Scott, VANZEN.
That's right.
Cool.
Guitarschool.com. And then on YouTube, I'm Scott Van Zen. You can watch me, you know, take my aggressions out on a guitar there. You know, sign up, share it with your friends, all that kind of stuff. It's
Awesome.
It's growing. It's funny, the momentum. It's for 5 years. It doubled in 1 year, and now it's doubling like that every month.
Wow, that's
awesome.
great.
So it's
That's
starting
awesome.
to get this.
That's great.
New, where I'm like, oh, I wake up and holy crap, you know. A lot of people looked at that while I was sleeping, you know.
I've got a 16-year-old that's playing a little bit, so I'll make sure and turn him on. So he'll
put me in touch
get
with
into
him,
it.
and I'll
Yeah,
help him too.
that'd be cool.
Awesome.
Be awesome. Thanks, man. We really appreciate your time
Thank you
today.
very much.
You guys.
It's been great having you on here.
All right, cool,
Thanks
man.
a lot.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thanks, brother.
All right, bud.